Hey guys, young Christian here. Today we're going to spend, I don't know how long, but we're going to talk about the rapture predictions that have failed. And so essentially, I believe a guy named Joshua Melakala, is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure, but I think he was the one that sort of started saying, I'm receiving revelations from God and things like that. And then everyone started jumping on this. All the rapture is going to happen in September 23rd to 24th. They didn't set a specific date, like a general time period. And I think they did last year too. They were setting dates like in September, like around 21st. I don't remember, saying that it's going to happen. And yeah, and obviously it didn't happen. And then everyone is shocked. And this is important because this specific event, this is the first time I'm hearing people, because of these rapture predictions, selling their cars, selling their homes, just getting rid of important things because, oh, well, I don't need it. Jesus is coming, right? And this is obviously very problematic. And there's a few reasons why this is problematic. Number one, it makes Christians look like fools. I'm going to look at a video in a little bit from an atheist to see why it makes us look like fools. But then number two, the way it causes Christians to do things they shouldn't be doing, like selling their important belongings. And then three, it can cause doubt. So what we're going to do, let's run through a little bit of the biblical argument for why there was supposed to be a rapture in September. So the first argument, there's two main biblical arguments. So some people are going to say, oh, well, I got a revelation from God. That obviously is canceled because it didn't happen, right? Supposedly getting a revelation from God doesn't mean anything, right? Doesn't prove that, oh, if someone says I got a revelation from God, it must be from God, right? And that's me assuming that you even saw anything in a dream. I mean, majority of these people are probably liars, right? So, but anyways, so the first biblical argument is the Feast of Trumpets. Well, there's the trumpet that Jesus comes with, and then we have the Feast of Trumpets, which lands around that time in September. So maybe that's when Christ comes. And you see this is the Feast of Trumpets, Leviticus 23 to 25. There's a memorial and blowing trumpets. And I really don't see the connection because sure, there's a similarity. Oh, there's trumpets in both. But here in Leviticus, the trumpets are specifically for memorial, right? A memorial of blowing of trumpets versus when Christ comes, it's like a triumphal entry of a king, similar to like how he came on the donkey, but even more glorious because he's not riding lowly like it says in Zechariah 9:9. He's actually coming like a glorious king, right? And the trumpets are sort of, I'm not even convinced that they're literal. I'm thinking that it's mostly symbolic language to describe like a triumphant entry, royal entry of a king. And so the connection is hard to make because these are different contexts of trumpets. For example, when in the Battle of Jericho, when they're marching around with the trumpets, the context isn't the same as the Feast of Trumpets here. In the Feast of Trumpets, the trumpets are for memorial, but in the context of Joshua, they're blowing the trumpets by the command of God to destroy the walls, right? And so you can't just make a connection based on, well, there's trumpets, and then try to make a connection there because there's different contexts as to how the trumpets are being used. So the other biblical argument is 2 Peter 3:8, and it says, "But beloved, do not forget this one thing, that with the Lord, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day." And they'll take that and they'll say, "Well, look at that," and they'll try to make some mathematical argument that this lines up to whatever date. They do this all the time, every year, every year. It's every year, and yeah, this is out of context. So we start from verse 4. And these are mockers, right? And we'll get to the mockers in a second. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation, right? So these mockers are saying, when is he coming? Right? Where's this promise? The fathers fell asleep, right? The fathers of the faith, and yet everything is continuing as it is. Verse 5, for this they willfully forget that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water and in water, by which the world then existed perished, being flooded in water. Right? They're forgetting the story of Noah, essentially, there he's alluding to, right? They forget that the earth was created, there was the promise of the flood, and the flood came. Right? Even when they didn't see it, conditions didn't seem like, oh, that doesn't look like it's going to be a flood. A flood came. And so, verse 7, But the heavens and the earth, which are now preserved by the same word, are reserved for fire until the day of judgment and perdition of the ungodly men. And this is promising the same thing with judgment. Just like the flood was coming, this is prefiguring the judgment of ungodly men. So with that context, we get to verse 8. But beloved, do not forget this one thing, that with the Lord 1 day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day, which is essentially saying God can wait. It doesn't matter to him. He's eternal. In verse 9, if they never quote this part, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some count slackness, but is long suffering toward us, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. So the point of the verse is not that, well, 1 day lasts 1,000 years for God. No, because he's eternal. That's not how it works for God. The point is, the time does not matter to God. He comes when he wishes. He's eternal. So timing is unimportant to him. A day will be like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years will be like a day to him. The Lord doesn't care. It doesn't matter to him. So that's the point of that verse. And I mean, there might be several other arguments, but I'm not going to get into them here. You can plainly see that it's based on misinterpretation of the scriptures and false prophecies from false prophets that either are deceived into thinking that they're receiving revelations, or they're lying. They're lying. Now, I want to show you this video right here. And we're not going to watch all of it. We're only going to watch part of it. But this is an atheist right here. See the title, Christians didn't get raptured. Did Jesus forget to come? September 23rd, 2025 prediction. Whoops.
Is that did the rapture happen? I haven't played trumpet in years. I played in high school. It's Wednesday, September 24th.
So, I mean, you see right off the bat the way he's playing the trumpet, right? He's trying to mock the coming with the trumpets, right? So you see like already the demeanor here.
Where's Jesus? I thought he was coming back yesterday on the
See?
23rd of September. Where is he? He's a no-show. Hey guys, here I am. The rapture. I still have my Christian friends here. Apparently, Jesus. They got the date wrong. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I didn't hear no trumpet sounds except for that lousy sound I just heard. I told you I was going to come on the day after the rapture and talk about the rapture.
So yeah, he's taking the opportunity to kind of make a mockery, right? Well, look at this, right? Where's Jesus? Where's Jesus? Thought he was coming, and that sounded like a lot less of a. It was a lot less disrespectful than I thought it was going to be, because I didn't watch the whole thing. But and you can watch it. I'll try to leave the link in the description if you want to watch that video, because I don't want to take it without permission. But you see like how that this prediction is being used, because it went so viral, and so now Christians are being mocked. Look at this. Where is your God? Where's your God? You see, he's not here, right? It's being used as an opportunity to make a mockery of Christ, and that is a grave sin. To first of all, you remember Job's friends in Job 42 when God says, "Make a sacrifice and ask Job to pray for you, because you have not spoken what is right for me." Right? The point is they didn't represent God correctly. So when you say Jesus is coming this day, that's important. You're speaking on behalf of God, saying he's going to come this day. And when he doesn't come, you just misrepresented God. Do you think that's something small? That's something small? Oh, okay, I got the date wrong. We'll try again. You think that's something small? You are misrepresenting God. You should not be the cause of mockery of God because you said he's coming and then he didn't come. That should not be the reason for God to be mocked, because you tried to predict when he came, told everyone he's coming here. This is when he's coming, and then he doesn't come. That should not be the reason for mockery towards God. I also talked about how, right, this causes Christians to doubt, right? Because what if people put their faith in this? Christ is going to come then. He's going to come now. He doesn't come. Well, is this all true? Is Christ actually going to come or not? Right? That can cause doubt. Not with everybody, obviously, but of a lot of people, it could definitely cause doubt when he doesn't come. I want to leave you with these last two verses because, a lot of them might quote passages in Matthew 24 where it talks about, the sun and the stars being signs, yada yada. But this is what they never read. Matthew 24, 23 to 24. Then if anyone says to you, look here, it is the Christ, or there, do not believe it. Notice, they're saying, here's Christ. There he is. He's coming. See that? Sound familiar? Verse 24. For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. False prophets are going to rise. And these false prophets are doing signs. These people do not do signs. So that makes them even more of a false prophet because they don't have the signs to even have any credibility to back them up. Now, mind you, this is Matthew 24. There's debate on when this is fulfilled, right? I mean, in the beginning of the chapter, it talks about not one stone shall be left upon another. So, I mean, there's debate on that. I won't get into that here, but I'm just kind of assuming the premillennial dispensational interpretation for argument's sake. And then they also don't read this ever. Matthew 24:36. But of that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. No one will reveal the hour but the Father. Right? God is going to reveal the hour, not a guy that thinks he has a divine revelation. The God the Father will make it known when the hour comes. Okay? Not you and me. Not Joshua Milwaukee, whatever his name is. I have it written here. Malakila, whatever. Not Benny Hinn, not Kenneth Copeland. I don't think these guys do end time prophecies, but none of these guys, right? None of these guys are gonna tell you when Jesus comes. The Father will reveal the hour. That is the prerogative of the Father. He's going to reveal the hour, and Him alone. So stop predicting the end times. Stop trying to predict the end times. It's a complete waste of time. And I heard this quote. I don't remember where it was from. I think it was from I Think Biblically. Great channel. Um, and essentially, he said something along the lines of, "It's pointless and worthless. It's pointless because you don't know the hour, and it's worthless because you gain nothing from it because you are supposed to watch at all times, right? So there's no point in predicting the hour. Just stop trying to predict the rapture or the second coming or the great tribulation. Just stop. Just stop. Okay, please just stop. It's just stop. Stop. If I don't have a problem with whatever view of eschatology you hold, as long as it's not, full preterism or whatever the heck Hebrew Israelites or Jehovah's Witnesses or whoever believes, just stop trying to predict the end times. If you want to do it in your private time, be my guest. I really don't care. I can't impede on your private time, but please don't try to tell the world this is when Jesus is coming. There's no it doesn't do any good, and all it does is harm. I hope this is the last video I make on this. I don't think I'm going to be talking about it anymore unless something like this happens again where it goes completely viral. We'll see. Maybe I'll debunk each prediction every time it comes. I mean, whatever. This is not meant to be an eschatology channel where I refute false prophets all the time. But if it comes to that, I might end up just doing that because this bugs me. I hate when every year they do this. It's supposed to be a new one every year. I almost did a video in 2023, I think, when it was 2024, the solar eclipse, right? The solar eclipse. I almost did a video on that. Actually, I'm missing a book on my bookshelf, the MacArthur Study Bible, but whatever, it's fine. I almost did a video on that where I was walking outside while the eclipse was happening. And yeah, and you notice the reaction. People are devastated. Some people are trying to hold on and like change the date. There's a lot of cope. Just please stop, Christians. Please stop. There is nothing good coming from this. You're causing people to doubt their faith. Let's focus on spreading the gospel because that is what's important, right? Predicting the rapture. Reading Second Peter once again, right? In 2 Peter 3:9, just not willing that any should perish. Go preach the gospel before it comes, instead of trying to figure out when it comes and trying to tell everyone. Let's preach the gospel. And then when that day comes, we will rejoice. God bless you all, and goodbye.